What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. I apologize for the slight delay, but let's get into it. Let's get let's get going, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get into today. It's gonna be a short sauce, probably about 30 minutes. But we're gonna talk about the player extension, some things that have gone on, and what that could mean for some other guys, what that might not mean for some other guys. I'm your host, Honcho. If you don't know, apologize for the delay because I'm not even gonna get into it. But first of all, I thank y'all for being here as we wind down towards the end of the year. Today is the 28th. So far, 28 straight days of sauce, part of the 31 days of sauce. Appreciate every one of y'all who have been here, each and every day. If you popped in, if you couldn't make it, and you came back later and caught it, I appreciate it. Before we get into it, let's see what we got joining us today. Remember, hey man, if you are from the greater Houston area, shout out to your side. Even if you're not from the greater Houston area, let me know where you're at so I can send a little bit of digital love in your direction, because it's all love around here. So we're going to talk about a couple of things, and the good moves, the bad moves, and Billy O, the GM. So let's see, GT, Rodney, Lorenzo, Swisher in the motherfucking house. Teron Walder, what's the motherfucking deal? Real Goat, Infinity, what's the motherfucking deal? Infinity, you stop pimping, man. Let's see. Ashmail, what's the motherfucking deal? Jabari. Let's see, Deep Rich, aka Texans Palace. Look, if you are the king of Texans fans, then you must reside in a palace, and so you better go to Texas Palace. I know that shit was corny, but it sounded good, right? But shout out to Deep Rich, Texas Palace. If you're not following Texas Palace on the gram, man, you ain't worth a damn. That's how I feel about that. And if anybody don't like it, you can fight me. So what's up with that? Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? I ain't gonna lie. I just got out the shower, running late. I read and I got my run in late today, and when I be changing environments, I be a little overly moisturized. You feel me? So no, I'm not sweating. It's just fucking condensation or whatever the fuck this shit is. Let's see what else we got in here, man. Let me see. Where was that? Ashmail, Professor Trill, Thomas, what's the motherfucking deal? Jaja, what's the motherfucking deal? Cam, Tony Yayo, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see, Aurelius, Colton, Easy MJ, what's the motherfucking deal? Front runner Ian, what's the motherfucking deal? Rod M, Footballer 503. Let's see, Maximum Overdrive, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. DeFons, what's the motherfucking deal? We're gonna talk about Tunsil being out too. You know, we're gonna definitely talk about what's going on with that. Spitz, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. So Lee's Texas boy, Miguel, what's the motherfucking deal? Richard Becerra, what's the motherfucking deal? Chopper Slim, Eric. Let me see. Everyday Dre Day, what's the motherfucking deal? Casino T, what's the motherfucking deal? Brenham, Texas in the house already. Jamal, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Montgomery in the house, South Park in the house, Austin in the house, Spring in the house, Southwest already. North Houston in the house already. Corpus Christi. Let's see. Albany, New York already. Let's see. Big Money, Texas, Beaumont in the house already. Let's see. Look, Jack, if I missed you, I ain't dish you. You know. Yeah, I'm like Houdini right now. Till I stop over here. Dripping, I'm dripping this sauce. But let's get into it, man. So a couple of things that happened today. One of these things being, one of them was, to me, it was a good move. One of them was a okay move. I'm not really tripping on. And then some other things that, to me, that it may or may not be saying. I'm going to speculate, so don't take my word as law when I say this. But first off, Texas made a smart move, in my opinion, by retaining Merciless, even though Merciless has kind of fallen off since early this season. You haven't seen the numbers. All of y'all was talking about, Clowney who when Merciless was balling, then he fell off, and now we're not talking about that anymore. But maybe he'll see some shine, in the playoffs when Watt comes back. And like I say, Watt will not be playing in this game because it's like an 8-day rule before, he can come back. So expect to see him next week in the playoffs, depending on who we face. No matter who we face, I'm sure he'll be there. But Merciless, I think, got a $54 million deal, I think with 23.5 guaranteed. I believe it was, let me see, was it a 3? Let me look that up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw it earlier and I couldn't remember if it's a 3 or 4 year extension. But, my thoughts on that, like I say, I think that's a solid deal because you keep a pass rusher because, Merciless was set to be a free agent. And if he would have walked, I think the Texans would have been in a very precarious position. You know what I'm saying? I think that it would have been interesting. So totally, he has 7.5 on the year. Okay, so I think that you've been in a very precarious position because you got questionable pass rushers after Merciless is gone. With Watt, and he would probably be the only guy out there that you would really consider pass rusher. You talk about Duke. Duke had a little bit of shine, but you still have questions. Martin, still kind of coming into his own, but being a pure pass rusher, is a limited, not limited, but he's a liability against the run. So, I think that was a smart move to retain his services for the next few years. And 13.5, I think, is relatively a friendly deal, like I said, with only 20-something being guaranteed. So, what is it exactly? 24 being guaranteed. So nothing wrong with that. I'm not tripping on that at all. Then you have another move, which, let's be honest. At first I was kind of questioning, but it actually is a good move. Because of the ups and downs of this Texans offense. And that is they re-signed Brian Anger, who is second ranked amongst all of the punters in net punting yards with an average of 44.1. And then he has the first place in return yards off his punt. So my thing is, when this offense can't get going, and we've seen it time and time again, at least you put the ball in a favorable position for your defense. So I'm not even mad at the Brian Anger signing. I know some people are like, come on, it is what it is. I joked about it. I'm like, wow, they finally doing deals in the season, and the first thing you hear is a fucking punter, right? So that tells me is a couple of things. And again, like I say, question has some things changed around here. But technically, if I'm not mistaken, Nick Martin's deal was done, what you would say, in season. I have to go and double check, but I believe I think it was done early. Was it around week 1? I got to go back and look exactly. But I think technically you could have called that in season. I have to go and see exactly. But, so, then you kind of knew something may have changed. And, it is what it is. And Nick Martin's been actually relatively solid so far this year. So I can't knock that. I was kind of low on him earlier in the season. But once he kind of got back healthy, once the ankle got back right, you've seen him be solid. Because, here's the thing. If you're not hearing people's names called, then you have no complaints about, offensive linemen. If you're not hearing offensive linemen's names called, then no complaints. Now, if you're hearing If you're not hearing receivers' names called, then that's a different situation. It means they're not producing shit. And I think you could probably say the same thing on defense to an extent, maybe in your linebacking, I don't know. I mean, your secondary too, especially if they get targeted. But so I'm not mad at either one of these moves. So, but I want to know your thoughts, and I guess I should put the poll up here. Let me put my own self back up here. I want to put the poll up here and get your feelings. Do you think that we'll do a quick poll? I'm not going to do the whole thing. Do a quick poll. I want to get your thoughts. Do you think that the Texans regime has changed? And what I mean by that is the way that they're doing business with players, as previous to how they have been under Rick Smith, under the temporary tenure of Brian Gaine. Like, do you think that this culture has changed? Do you think they're going to be more aggressive? Do you think Honey Badger saying something last year has impacted the way that they've decided to kind of move forward? Because, he talked about, hey, maybe if we would have got a deal done during the season, if they'd have did deals during the season, maybe we would have had something else worked out, regardless of how you feel about Honey Badger. He went and got paid. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know your thoughts on that. And this is not, of course, not on the field. We know the field is the same. But I'm talking about as far as front office, back end stuff, when it comes to handling these players. Do you think their opinion has changed? Or do you still think, technically it has because they've done the deals differently. But do you think we're still the same? Are we still going to stick to the whole good guy script? And I agree, Glenn. That's another thing. Yeah, when you don't have any picks, you better have something figured out, right? And so I'm not mad. I'm not tripping on that at all. Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? And so there's that. But like I said, you kind of had to make that move because if you'd have let him walk and then, test the market, well, there's that, right? Now I'm just going to do a short sauce. I'm not going to do any calls today. Probably, like I say, about 30 minutes. I got to run here in a little bit. Because pass rushers was a need, right? Like, it was a need. Look, I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on the fucking Bills. And the reason why is because as a Texans fan, you can't sleep on anybody. Slept on the Broncos, you saw what happened, right? So we can sit here and say Bills this, Bills that. Bills could come in here and beat the shit out the Texans. Texans could actually be the team that they're capable of being and beat the shit out the Bills. Or it could be another one of them close games where we got a lot of complaints, but fuck it, a win is a win type situation, right? So another thing, Tunsil being out. And the Tunsil being out thing is interesting because it kind of ties into something I think I said on the show we did the first one we did this week. And that was, if Tunsil's out, and Deshaun has a nagging back problem, right? Then do you play him? Considering that this game has nothing to win. And again, Deshaun says, he wants to play. And I still think it comes down to what do the Chiefs do, right? What do the Chiefs do? If the Chiefs lose, then you got to do it. You got to get out there. It's unfortunate. You got to play it. Like if the Chiefs lose, you have to go all in, right? Like you have to give it all you got. Like if you sit there and settle for the fucking 4 seed, that's to me that's a piss poor mentality. But if the Chiefs win, which is most likely what I think is going to happen, I don't think you risk it. Like Clark, you're gonna trust fucking Chris Clark to fucking protect Deshaun Watson? Come on, man. So my thoughts are this: Chiefs win. Chiefs lose. Do what you got to do. Chiefs win, man. Don't play Deshaun. Let him rest. Hold him out till next week, whatever, and you go from there. But so I think that's kind of intriguing. Having 2 key players that are going to be missing. We already know the Will Fuller situation. That situation. Damn, there was something else I wanted to speak on before I fucking. I'm telling, like when I switch environments, when I go from fucking one to the other, I get to dripping. What's the other thing? It was another topic I wanted to discuss briefly. Besides the moves, besides that, looking at the other guys, right? Looking at the other guys that you have kind of 1-year deals with, that moves have not been made, right? And you still have time. You still have time to do these things, a little bit of time. And so I want to know, I'm curious, do you think the Texans go about trying to re-sign Roby? You got a couple other young guys on the team who have a couple of years left on their deals. You think Deshaun? You think Deshaun want them numbers? I wouldn't doubt. How much do you need to get to like two and some change or something? I forgot what he got. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he does want to get the numbers. He want to get the set the records and everything with that. But here's my deal. It's like I get it. You wait to the playoffs, but then the power's out of your hands. If it goes well, that number goes up. If it doesn't do as well, then you have an issue. I agree on the DJ Reader thing, absolutely. Another big name that you need to go ahead and handle before he walks into free agency. Because if DJ Reader goes, you might as well call it a wrap. I mean, you call it a wrap. You can say what you want to say about Watt. Watt praises DJ for all of the pressure he takes off of him. Watt is getting older, merciless, not a spring chicken. You got to make those moves. You have to solidify these guys while you can. Like, as you let them walk and have the opportunity to venture forth into another organization, especially an organization that probably has a winning culture, we talk about it. These guys have friends around the league. These guys have a social around the league, and hey, they may go somewhere. And Texas ain't the only state where you ain't got the taxes. They may go somewhere else where it's favorable. That some people will overpay just to snatch a player away. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think Roby's gonna get that. I don't know if Roby's gonna get that jack. But if you're talking about guaranteed, we'll see. But again, he does have though. He does. That's the thing. Let's be honest. This Texans front office, this Texans franchise, they're happy with double-digit wins. They're happy with winning the division. They're happy with stuff that looks good, right? But as far as the fans, most of us, some of us are like, we're all right. We won another division, and we're top of the AFC South, and that's all that matters, Jack. But real fans are tired of it. Like, we want to see progress. Like, we don't want to see the same shit you did in year, 2 and 3 and shit like that. Like, this is year 6. What the fuck are you going to do? Like, it's time to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't cut Blackson. Blackson just had a deal signed, right? Prior to this year, right? If I'm not mistaken. No. Fucking shit got wet. All right. And Blackson has been. Let's be realistic. Blackson is the reason why you won fucking 2 games, the last 2 fucking games or so. So you cannot cut Blackson, and you can sit here and say, well, how? Shit, Blackson blocked those fucking field goals that fucking, you talking about 3-point games that solidified the win. Had that shit went the other way, then we might be having a different conversation. So nah, you keep Black, you don't cut Blackson. I mean, shit, he's the only person that's fucking that's doing anything. I mean, really putting pressure on anybody as far as on special teams. What I'm saying, well, I guess on the field goals. He's your most consistent guy, I guess you could say, as far as getting blocks and making big plays on special teams. And so that's a key player that you may want to hold on to. You're talking about Yannick. That'll be real interesting. It'll be really interesting. Again, that's why I asked about, character situations, because if I'm not mistaken, some of the prior years in the past, we've seen, the Jags players going at each other. And I want to say Yannick had beef with somebody, and they had like a little issue. And you know how the Texans are. Well, that guy said cuss words on the sideline, and I don't like it. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But, it's going to be a lot of opportunity. Texans are going to have to spend some money. Last year, last year they had the opportunity to solidify some things, that moves that they didn't make. Now you're going to have to spend some money this year. Like, you're going to have to. He's 148 and 1 TD for a career. Okay. Well then, yeah, let him play a quarter. Then let him play a quarter. If he's looking good, let him go. If he's not, give him a quarter, and then that's a wrap. Well, it's like I said, the Titans have something to play for. The Texans, if the Chiefs, like I say, if the Chiefs win, Texans ain't really got anything to play for. And the motivation, the coach can say whatever they want to. We've seen them come out dead in important games. So I don't think the motivation will truly be there. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my thing. No, I know all white people don't sound like that, but there are those that do. And that's those that do voice. So my thing, like I say, is just it's a lot of questions going into this last game. How do you handle it? How do you approach it? You know, what is the game plan? Now, I talked the other day. I can't remember if it was on the phone call or if it was Wink. But we were talking about Bill O'Brien. I was talking to Shaolin. And Shaolin's a Titans fan, for those of you who don't know. And it's pretty interesting because the Titans fans seem to be feeling the same way about the Titans right now as we feel about the Texans. And I find that to be very odd. Like nobody feel nobody feels again, if you're just saying whatever, then yeah, you feel like, oh yeah, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna smash on the Titans, and we're gonna okay, okay. I mean, if you believe that, that's fine. I don't feel like I'm not at a point where I can say the Texans are gonna smash on anybody. Texans can beat people, but until it's proven that they have that killer instinct, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's still fuck the Titans though. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I like them or I'm afraid of them. It's still fuck the Titans. That's always and forever. Even when we're not playing them motherfuckers, fuck them. But being legitimately honest, make sure I hit that like button, please. And being legit and being honest, you know, that last game was an ugly game. Titans could have won that game had it not been for a few opportunistic plays. So we're going to see what steps on the field tomorrow. We're going to see what happens early on. I think that's going to dictate some stuff. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. Yeah, Trey, I agree. The Bills not no point. Like the Bills, I know a lot of people in Houston have some old beef with the Bills, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I know people have some old beef with the Bills, but y'all better get over that shit, and y'all better put some respect on their name. And you can talk about, well, they haven't really beat anybody with winning records and a lot of stuff. You know, that has been the Texans' nature for quite some time. The Texans got them some good wins though against the Patriots. Got them one against the Chiefs, and then outside of that, who else? I'm not sure. Do they have any other? Well, you can say the Titans because they're in the playoff competition. So there's an outside oil, but the Bills, like I say, the Bills. Come on, man. Like how bad were the Bills last year? Right, the Bills' offense was terrible last year. But what did it take for the Texans, a much more talented team? They struggled with the Bills. Texans have improved, Bills have improved, and I'll keep saying this. So I'm not going to say like I wish I could come out here and say, I don't do that type of stuff, Asmel. I'm free and clear. I'm a man of purity. Maybe sometime next year though. We'll see how things pan out. But you know, my thing is, I just want the Texans to come out. If they're going to play tomorrow, if there's something to play for, like I said, if the Chiefs lose, for me to have a even slightly different opinion of the Texans, it would take a couple of things. One being that the Chiefs lose and they come out and beat the brakes off the Titans, showing that they're looking to win. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Well, that's old videos. I don't know anything about that. That's been years ago. I don't know anything about that anymore. I'm pure in my soul. Now, again, will be very interesting because I think there's still a way that it could pan out where the Texans could beat the Titans, and the Titans could still get in the playoffs. I forgot the exact scenario, but I got a quick question. How would y'all feel if the Texans beat the fucking Titans twice in the regular season, play them in the playoffs and lose? How would you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I mean, that's what our secondary can get beat. Allen got a cannon. He's got an arm on him. He's not the most accurate guy, but he's got an arm on him. But also the thing that you have to think about with Allen is, you know, usually the term gets applied differently, but Allen is a mobile quarterback. Allen can move, you know, and so that's what I'm saying. Like the Texans don't have the best success with mobile quarterbacks. Like, let's be honest, man. So, and that's the thing. So, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sleeping on the Bills. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, we're gonna wash them," or anything. Yes, I would love to beat them. I would love to, but you know, like I say, it all we'll figure everything out. Like I say, pretty much after tomorrow, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. I know the game is flex, so that means what, the 3:30 game. So we'll probably be live at 2:30 Central Time. So Pitt lose and Jags win the Titans get in. Okay. So I mean these are all possibilities of happening, right? These are all possibilities of happening. So I mean, don't count it. Like I said, it all determines. We got to watch the early games, and we'll discuss what's happening in the early games when we get into the pregame show and what the likely outcome is. Let me look. I don't know, Jack. I don't know, Jack. I think it depends on who you end up playing before you buy those tickets. But then you better get them quick because they're gonna yamp them up real quick. But my thing is, like I said, and I'm gonna have to, like I said, get ready to wrap it up here shortly. Like I said, I apologize, it's a shorter sauce, and I got in here a little bit later. But it doesn't matter. You're going to the playoffs no matter what. But the favorable outcome could change your situation when you're talking about, long term and what happens as far as facing the Ravens and all of these things. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. One last quick poll, and then I'm gonna get ready to wind it down. No, I'm not opening the line today. One last quick poll, and that is right now, as everything stands, 1 for yes, 0 for no. Are you afraid of the Ravens? And so my thing is, I think you need to delay your opportunities. I think you need to, like I say, this team needs to get some energy going into the playoffs. You need a game or two, hopefully, before you see the Ravens. But, it's like it could not be favorable. Okay, so we got a couple people saying no. Two ain't even an option. So y'all not afraid of Ravens. So y'all feel like you can go back into Baltimore. What is that, M&T? You go back into Baltimore, and the Texans will actually put up a fight. You know what I'm saying? No, you ain't talking about getting on the mixer action tonight, Cushington. You ain't talking about it, man. Let me know if you bought it. Is you bought it, fool? Quick poll is just: as a Texans fan, are you afraid of the Ravens? 0 for no, and 1 for yes. And I agree. It doesn't. This team has not been like. It felt like, again, like the Patriots game was it like. It felt like the Texans gave everything they had in that Patriots game. That's what I'm talking about, Spitz already. DA, dead end representing. But like I said, man, it's just it's the Texans need to get some momentum going before they see the Ravens. And yes, with Fuller being out, you need to hope that you can extend as much time as possible. And that's if you let's not even think that far ahead. I apologize, right? I apologize. Let's not think past the first round. This is the Houston Texans we're talking about right now, right? This is the Houston Texans we're talking about right now. Let's not even act like we need to be having this conversation, right? Let's stop. Let me end that. Erase the tape. Edit this shit. Erase all the tape. Erase all that tape. Don't even say none of that. You can't. The Texans can't look past anybody. Anybody. I don't care if it's the fucking Steelers. Like, you cannot look past anybody. But here's the deal, Jack. Like I said, I got to get ready to slide, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Salt Sports HTX on Instagram, Salt Sports HTX on Twitter. We will be live, like I said, with the roundtable tomorrow, pregame show an hour before the game, and then immediately after the game, we will be live discussing what happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But with that being said, man, hey, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button. But most of all, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Y'all stay saucy, and we out.
Perfect.